Hello and welcome to HUDcast number 23. I'm Rich and today I'm joined by Kev.
Hello.
We're really joined by Matt, the lone wanderer, returns. Awesome. He's not going to say hello though, he's a mute. He's become mute. And for the first time ever, we're joined by our first lady to the HUDcast. Lini? Lini, you want to say hi? Sorry. Lini. Say hello, Lini.
Hi.
Hey. Awesome. Right, well, I think we'll kick things off with the usual. What have we been playing?
What have you been playing?
Considering Matt hasn't been in on it for a while, Matt, what have you been playing?
Yeah, you must have been playing a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I got a super duper PC.
The Elite.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm elite.
You're a part of the master race.
I'm the master race. Bound to me. Yeah, it's incredible.
Cool.
So I've been kind of. Well, literally everything I bought in the recent summer Steam sale and lost stuff I kind of wanted to buy recently. I've literally just bought everything and then I'm kind of just making my way through. So kind of like everything I've just like Watch Dogs and games that are going to test my graphics card. I've just been kind of, kind of like a tech wizard's dream. Just like yes, look how good it looks.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've spent a good time on The Witcher 2.
Cool.
I've played it, completed it already, but it looks so much better than I remember.
Wow.
Like good God, yeah. So that's really awesome. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of The Forest.
Okay.
Horror game.
Yes, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's Minecraft meets DayZ meets first person Lost, basically.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So basically you're on a plane, you crash, pretty much everyone is dead around you, and then suddenly
Jack Shepherd comes in.
No. Well, an Aborigine Jack Shepherd comes in. No, yeah, he then steals your son.
What
and then so basically it's all about survival. And I've just been surviving basically. At the moment I haven't really discovered what the story element is and whether I ever see my son again, but I'm just having a really good time, kind of just surviving, building stuff.
Cool.
Is
it purposely like mysterious with the fact that you don't know where your son's gone, or is it just like a sort of get out?
Yeah, definitely. And even if there was a story, I'm too obsessed right now with just building stuff and hunting the Aborigines down because they're really menacing. They kind of like go around in packs of 3. And there's like a really disconcerting piano kind of like trill, so it's like doo, and then you hear like them like chanting or like in the distance, and you see them, and then like they're hanging off trees, hanging off rocks, and like if you're on a beach, that's the worst place you can be because they literally they jump from like horrendous heights.
Oh, geez.
They can also come up from like the sea and like
it's like superhuman aborigines.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
not into that.
it's really really good.
Sounds cool. It sounds like a Apocalypto, but like a horror version.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
I've been playing Gods Will Be Watching, which is a point-and-click game, which you'll know I'm obsessed with. I love point-and-click adventures, and this is fucking rock solid, really hard. You were crying about Dark Souls. Try playing Gods Will Be Watching.
I'm not crying anymore. I finished it.
Oh, okay, good for you.
You know what we have to do today? We'll get to that in a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like basically there's when you start the game, you know it's going to be ridiculous when they say there's 2 difficulties. The way that the developers wanted you to play, which is ridiculously rock solid, or the pussy's way out, which is I think what they call it. And it's like
nice.
It's basically like a dumbed down version.
Okay.
And like I'm not even joking. Like the first section like took me a long time.
Oh man.
But I like it. It's cool.
Is it rewarding though, or is it just like a slog?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it's
cool.
rewarding, and it's developed by it's published by Devolver, who do Hotline Miami and all that lot. So they're picking up like the creme de la creme of like really cool indie developers, and it's just it's fantastic. It's like kind of 16-bit. Kind of like, so yeah, like the visuals are really cool, and it's all just like the traditional, like no voices. It's just like like pop-up text.
Okay, yeah,
And,
Final Fantasy style.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm really enjoying that as well. But yeah, there's a host of other stuff I've been playing, but I will probably go on for about 2 hours, so I'll leave it there.
Maybe we could do a separate HUDcast.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably talk more about it later in our secret what we're talking about later.
Secret main subject.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, Lini, what have you been playing? If you've been playing some stuff.
Firstly, have you played Machinarium? If you're into point
Yes, I have.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
So now that you've been talking about that, I'm desperate to go and play Machinarium. So if we could wrap this up pretty quickly.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Okay.
You can catch us on that.
Awesome. Well, I got The Sims 2 bundle for free, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
So I decided to play that on my fancy pants computer, and it's not blurry anymore, which is really nice, because I used to play it on my old shitty one, so that's good.
Yeah.
League of Legends, which I play pretty much constantly anyway.
Sweet.
That's not really much of a change to my normal week. And The Cave as well, which I picked up in, I think...
Yeah.
Have you played that?
Yeah.
PC.
It's the indie game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had it on Xbox, and I thought I'll give it a go, seeing as, we were talking about this week, so I thought I'd give it a go on PC, and point and click is so much better, and stuff like that is just so much better on PC. And I've just literally, before I started talking to you, bought Darkstalkers in the Capcom sale.
Nice.
So I've been playing that, which is really...
Yeah. Talking of point and clicks, have you played, obviously you played The Walking Dead?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did you play on Xbox or PC?
Xbox.
Yeah. Have you played it on PC yet?
No, but I think it'd probably be a lot easier.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the game I've picked up again on PC.
And?
It is ridiculously better.
I guess frame rate wise, it's...
Yeah, it runs better, it looks better,
that was the one
it's
thing
a clunky piece of shit on Xbox now.
Yeah, I enjoyed it on Xbox, I thought it was fantastic, but I can tell, the kind of frame rate was the only fault of the experience for me, especially when you got some really emotional moments, and then it would be like... It's like Team America.
Exactly that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of that on PC. I'd like to see how it runs on PC.
Cool.
And BattleBlock Theatre, I played a little bit because that was free.
Cool.
That's kind of fun. Music's good, and I like parkour, so
That's on,
who doesn't parkour?
That's on 360, yeah?
Yeah, that's
okay, cool. Awesome.
I've
Sweet.
got one, I just don't really use it that much because I still play the 360 games and there's not really much on one that I play much. I played Sniper Elite 3 for a little bit, but...
That was what I think the majority of the reviews were.
It sums it up. It's alright, I mean... If you want to shoot Hitler through the bollock, then it's really good, but...
I wouldn't mind a go at that, actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's the game.
They should just do...
You are obsessed with bollocks, though.
Shoot Hitler in the bollocks. Elite.
That would
do it.
Bollocks Elite.
Bollocks Elite. That would really do it.
The balls-to-wall shooter of the year.
What's the review for that say?
It's the nuts.
There you go, that's it. That is it.
Right.
Awesome. Sweet, well, Kev, what have you been playing?
I finished Dark Souls.
Yes! Yes!
Hang me.
We should do a little...
I've been hearing you cry about this for
God knows
how many months.
You wouldn't believe, I was crying. I was crying last week when I finished it. Pure happiness.
Well done, man.
I haven't sky punched the air that many times since the ending of Crisis 3, I don't think.
Did you go to a wooded glen and punch down to your happiness?
Yeah, I punched around the room just so much, I had to take Amy to the hospital, she had 2 black eyes, it was terrible. But no, I'm kidding, I'm not Woombier. But no, I've finally completed Dark Souls, can't rate that game enough. It finished and then it was like, do you want to go through the journey again on harder mode? And I was like,
No,
not yet. I do, but not yet.
not right now.
Yeah, not right now. I've been going through the co-op mode for Portals 2, because I never played it.
Portals 2?
Portal, sorry. Portal? Portal 2.
Get it right, Kev.
Oh, alright. I thought it was like...
This is a factual podcast.
Why don't they just call it Portal?
Here we go.
Like they did with Alien.
Factual.
That's what they did with Alien. It was Alien. There was aliens. They should have called it Portals.
Yeah, but Alien... this
It's
is not
called
for now.
Portal 2.
Yeah, okay.
I've been playing Portal 2.
It's one portal that you go through.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just has 2 ends.
Okay.
Co-op is 2.
Alright, okay.
Co-op.
But if you're playing it in co-op, surely there is more portals.
That is technically true.
Can we cut me a bit of slack now? Just a
No,
little
it's
bit.
not brand.
No.
Alright, fine. Portal 2, like, incredible. Because the single player, like, had a lot going for it, but I kind of gave up. And then I found out that it had a co-op, so I started playing that. And split screen co-op, it had split screen co-op, which I'm a massive fan of, so it's nice to see that.
Sorry, I'm still like kind of emphasising on the point that you
Portal.
gave up the single player.
Yeah, I just...
I don't know how you did that, but
How far did you get?
What, in co-op or the single player?
No, normal.
I got to the point where it was like a mini sort of boss fight against this massive gangly thing that picks you up. And then I was like,
that's like
yeah,
halfway.
I'm pretty sure I didn't like give up the game. I think
Then
something else came out that just grabbed my attention. I
chucked you down.
didn't go back to
You do like 1,000-foot
yeah, that was
fall,
it.
and then you got to work your way back up again.
Yeah, and I didn't go back to it. And the reason I didn't go back to it is because I started reading about the fact that they had co-op, and everyone was like, "It's co-op's like where it's at." So I never went back to the single player.
You need to go back to single player.
Yeah.
You've got to go back. It's phenomenal.
You have no idea how much I want to inflict pain upon you right now. So
Well, don't.
We're not. This is not a violent. This is not the murder cast. Okay.
We haven't even got to like our secret debate yet. I'm scared.
Passive. We're passive. We're passive. You know.
I don't really. I love you really.
Oh, there we go.
Don't worry, Nini. I'll get abused on every HUDcast, so you'll get used to them just mocking me.
Okay.
So yeah, Dark Souls, Portal 2.
I love how it's like how I'm wrong, even though you pronounced it wrong.
I just alright. I put an extra S in the end. Jesus. Yeah. So I think that's actually about it. Actually, no, we're playing Max Payne 3 because am I going to get bollocks for
Max
doing that
Payne.
either?
Max Payne 3.
Max Payne 3.
Maximum pain.
I'm playing Max Payne's.
Maximum painage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, that's
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I've been really boring lately. I've not had much time to play games because I'm still working on the new version of the site. I played a lot of Titanfall, which again I'm still getting used to after playing a bit of Destiny. It just feels so fast.
I played Destiny beta as well.
Ah!
Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot to mention that.
What do you think?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Like after watching you keep putting videos out of the alpha, I was like, I hate you.
I didn't actually play the beta though.
Didn't you?
It was much the same.
Was it?
Stuff.
What was the alpha?
You got kind of like a taste of what the early story's going to be. Literally, like the first 2 or 3, 4 missions.
Yeah.
Which was pretty much the alpha anyway. But with a little bit added in there. They made it more difficult to level up. They made it more difficult, like crapper armor, things like that. But it's not. No.
I enjoyed it, but I was a bit disappointed in the multiplayer aspect of the beta. Like, I know it's just a beta, but I don't know, it just didn't feel...
The Crucible looks interesting though.
That is the multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, you can also do multiplayer just randomly walking around, can't you?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean
like when
you
you're
mean
doing
like
missions.
co-op?
Yeah,
missions,
yeah,
like
Oh, I
that.
see, just joining a bit, yeah.
I think the Crucible, that's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
It's interesting, like the different game modes that can open up. But obviously, the alpha. I think the alpha actually potentially gave us more than the beta did.
Really?
Yeah. It was just it seemed to be less maps on the beta.
I mean, even if I wasn't finishing my degree like a madman, I probably wouldn't have done it anyway because I'm I played the alpha and I was like, I kind of just want it to come out now and I don't really want to play it again.
Well, you haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything new, and well, apart from the last couple of days of it, they released the Moon.
Oh, okay.
Which I missed. I didn't get to see, which sucks. But it's okay. It's like another month.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It is a month.
It's fine with that.
Yeah.
Finally out. God.
Apart from that, I've played a bit of Resogun again.
Hey,
because the
that
latest
game is
update, you can design your own ship now.
Can you?
So I had to design the Games HUD logo in it, and basically you can download it. I've shared it on there.
Oh, sweet.
So anyone that wants to can play as the Games HUD logo.
Is that the new DLC that came out?
No, it's just a update.
Oh, okay.
There is DLC as well that I haven't got. But yeah, just thought I'll do the Games Hub logo in there. I did like a weird 3-dimensional version we haven't seen because we only know 2D. But what if there was a third dimension to the logo? Now we'll know what that would look like. Yeah, exactly. So there we go.
Puny mind.
Awesome.
Can't take it in.
So I guess we'll move on to the PS Plus and Games with Gold releases for this month. Although, to be honest with you, I haven't seen PS Plus release any yet.
Tomorrow.
Is it
Today?
tomorrow?
Oh, it should be today.
It might be today. Then,
Should be
right?
today.
Okay, well in that case, I think I've got this right. In that PS4 is getting Fez and Road Not Taken. PS3 is getting Crysis 3 and Proteus.
Oh man, Crysis 3.
PS Vita is getting Lego Harry Potter, years 5 to 7, and Potter.
Time to die.
Wait, they're giving away Crysis 3 for free.
Yeah.
Right, Harry.
Yeah. That's what you get for having a PlayStation, you see. So.
Harry Potter.
And PS Vita is also getting.
What's he got doing Crysis 3?
Oh, come on! Dumbledore!
Dumbledore! Yeah.
PS Vita is
What's
also
going
getting.
on?
Have you never seen the
Have you never
seen the
tangent?
Puppet Pals? No. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, we'll have to show you after this.
Okay, cool.
PS Vita is also getting Metrico.
Metrico.
Okay, that's it. Games with Gold. Xbox One's getting Crimson Dragon and Strike Super Zero, which I'll have a go at already.
Strike Suit's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's cool.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Xbox 360 is getting Motocross Madness and Dishonored.
Dishonored? Oh, really?
It's alright.
Oh, it's just alright.
It's alright.
I haven't got Dishonored. I did check yesterday, and it's not on.
No. Yeah, basically, with the 360, they're doing a weird thing. So, Motocross Madness is available from the 1st to the 15th, and then Dishonored's available from the 15th to the end of the month. So, I don't know why they're doing that, but they
Why it's hot.
yeah.
It's one of those games I've been wanting to play for a long time.
Yeah, Dishonored is really good.
It's pretty,
Is it
it's
good?
pretty damn good.
Oh, cool.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It made it into the top 50 games of the last generation.
So go check it out on the Ouch Outs.
I can't remember what number it was, but it did make it in there.
It's got to be in
I
the
thought it was in the 40 or 50s, wasn't it?
30, I don't know then, I can't remember.
But yeah.
I can't remember.
It was so long ago.
It's so long ago.
So many
Still, it's
years.
happening.
So many months ago. So last year.
Yeah.
Right, awesome. Okay, so on to the news.
The news.
The news. And am I going to hand it over to my alter ego, Dick Moonbeard?
Dick Moonbeard.
It's my news reporter's name. Hello. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just going to carry on talking about it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. So, Sony have released their sales figures, and it looks like they're outselling the Xbox One 3-1 by the latest figures, roughly. Even with that price drop of the Xbox One getting rid of Kinect, it's still not enough.
I tells you, it's the man share main. People still haven't forgiven them.
Yeah.
It's the what?
They still haven't forgiven them from that faux party through last year. They
People-
still haven't forgiven them.
People don't forget,
Oh,
and people
I
don't
see.
forgive. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
don't. You know, I've got an Xbox
Apart from-
One. I really
So
like
have I.
it.
So have I. I really like it.
You know, it's people.
Yeah.
People. You know what people
Yeah.
are like.
Yeah.
People.
What are they not forgiving?
What are you gonna do?
Remind me?
You know E3 2013.
Yeah.
When they were like DRM this, DRM that.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you do this. We're not going to let you do
Yeah.
that. All that kind of stuff. Then they did an immediate U-turn, and you know,
So
rightfully or rightfully so, or not rightfully so, people don't have any respect for them anymore, and it's reflecting in the sales figures. And people who were loyal Xbox fans for many years are now PS4 fans. So, you know, and Microsoft has still got the loyal following from people who like you and me and.
Yeah.
And Nini
Yeah.
and Rich
Yeah.
and Ollie and Tom's got one as well.
Yeah,
so,
Yeah.
you know.
We've all got them. We all think they're good. Just
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, it's not like
Shame.
why that if there's hundreds of thousands of people out there like us that remember that happened but still bought the console. How was the sales? How? What?
I want it.
Oh yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
yeah. But at the end of the day, people generally buy one console, and if you're going to pick between an Xbox One or a PS4, then PS4's ticking all the boxes. Isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
people do tend. I know we're like exceptions to the rule mostly. they do tend to pick one ecosystem and stick with it.
Yeah,
And some people jump ship, and some people stay. It'd be interesting to see, Lena. You've been an Xbox lass from the beginning, have you?
So even the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
So how did you feel about all that stuff?
I
Did
don't know,
did it care? Did it matter?
Well, I mean, when it first came out, I used to be on Love Film, and they immediately stopped doing games.
Yeah, that was annoying.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
It'd mean that I get to rent shitty games that I don't particularly want to buy, and I have to buy said shitty games, which I don't want to do. It wasn't really. It was a bit of a money grabbing scheme, and I think a lot of people still remember that. But I'm very loyal, and I like Xbox. I didn't like the PlayStation 3. I know that a lot of people don't like me for saying that, but I don't know. I just didn't.
You're allowed your say. You're allowed your opinion.
On the internet?
No.
Here at Games HUD.
Yeah. See, for me, it was the controllers. Like, it wasn't anything to do with the console, the games. Like, every time I went to my friend's house, who had a PS3, and he would show me like God of War, I'd be like, I want a PlayStation 3, but I just couldn't get the controllers. But now with the PlayStation 4, I think the controllers are just a dream to handle, and everyone's like, they're not actually that much different. But for some reason, for me, I just feel like PlayStation controllers have to like stretch my fingers like a weird T-Rex
I think
to try and play it.
It's only years and years and years of playing with it that I'm just
kind of stretched. I just like ET sort of like.
Well, it's not that weird for me. Like I was PS1, PS2, and I got a 360, but then I got a PS3 about 4 years ago. I'm just used to it.
Yeah, see, that was the way to do it. Just a blend and just fuse yourself into both consoles. I never could afford to do that, which is why I never did it. But
yeah,
the thing is, like, thing is, with the 360, I still stand by my opinion that the 360 controller is the best controller ever made. I've got a Razer one, which feels a little bit different from the normal 360. But it has like a lot of similarities with the PS4 controller as well. So it kind of like so for me it's not that different. I don't think. It's got more of the curved triggers. Which is like what Razer have done with it, and it feels really nice. It feels like a Velociraptor claw kind of.
That was the worst thing. Cool. That was the worst thing about the PS3 controller was that the triggers were so
wrong way around.
Tough. They were the wrong way around. Your finger just slips off.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
someone's one of the Sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, we used to have a PlayStation 3. I actually gave it to my mum as a Blu-ray player. That's how much I value my PlayStation 3. We had one, but it sounds so petty. It's curved, and I like my controllers to sit on top of my console, and then get slipping.
The bread bins.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
It sounds so stupid.
But it doesn't actually, because
it's not.
So the kind of things like that are what, certain developers and people don't really understand.
Part of design is like practicality at the end of the day as well. Like good design should be practical and functional, and people. Yeah, that's a very valid point. The PS2 didn't suffer from that, but then the PS3, you got that problem. I'm glad they went back to this more square, angular look with the latest consoles.
Nice angular.
I like that. I like that.
The one is like a little bit too angular. I think it's.
I love it. I love it.
I quite like it. But if you're anything like me, Leanie, like with the controllers, when I'm finished and put them on the consoles, like I've got like proper OCD. Like I've got like line the bits of my controller up the corner of the console. I put it down, and then stand back and like
you've got to get a ruler out and the tape measure just like get it exactly.
My PS4 and my Xbox One are mating. And they've been mating ever since.
Oh, of course.
They're stacked on top of each other, so they're mating.
Let me guess, the PS4 humping the Xbox. Is that how it's working?
That can't be good for
the PS4 on top of the
PS4's on top of the Xbox.
Yes.
Well, actually sat on top of it? Yeah. Surely, like, the static, no? No, cock it up.
No, basically, it's on the side that the fan isn't. So it's only overlapping the fan a little bit. So
Yeah.
the Xbox fan is largely
that fan's bigger than the sun. It can
The thing is, I don't have any of them on. I don't have both of them on at the same time. I'm not a madman.
Oh, okay. Because someone told me that like you can't put like discs on top of the Xbox, and you're like the Xbox on carpet. And
I think that came from the absolute paranoia that preceded the 360's launch with all the red ringing and stuff.
It's probably to do with the way the air flows out of it.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it'll be alright.
I mean, the fan is probably the largest fan I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, literally, like...
Yeah, it rivals
any
Boeing
PC.
747's
Yeah.
I wonder why when I was playing Outlast, I was like,
I haven't even seen, like... you're sort of like, are we moving forward?
I was only see my socks going off.
Right, yeah.
Anyway.
Awesome. So, moving on.
Yes, please do.
EA Access has been announced, which is going to be £3.99, English pounds sterling, $5 a month, which basically gives you access to the sort of AAA titles for EA. Obviously, at the moment, it's only going to be stuff like Battlefield 4, Madden NFL, FIFA, and Peggle 2. But that'll open up more in the future. What do you guys think about this?
I think I'm going to want to see another game come out, probably something like Hardline or another, maybe like one of the Star Wars games, to actually make me think I want to invest in it. Because the way that they are at the moment with EA with Battlefield, the servers are so crap, I wouldn't invest any money in. Like, it's just not sturdy enough to make me want to commit to.
I mean, for me, like, two things immediately sprang to mind. After reading the absolute tirade of hate online. Really? I mean, in today's world, I mean, what are people do? Anyway, stop beefing on EA. They're trying their best. They're still going to be the #1 hated company in the entire world. But I'm one of those people who thinks EA are doing good work. And I'm probably alone. I don't care.
No,
I think they've got some really good products, and they're pushing stuff. And I still think they stole E3 2013. They had a terrible showing this year, but last year with Mirror's Edge and Battlefront and all that kind of stuff, there's some exciting stuff. And if it opens more doors for people to play their games, then cool. Secondly, I wasn't a fan of Sony's reaction.
Yeah, well, that's actually the next point of news.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Segue tonight.
Linny, have you got anything you want to add to that?
I mean, most of the EA games that I play aren't really the ones that they're going to bring out. Like,
yeah.
So I've got FIFA, but it's not really mine, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I'm a FIFA player, aren't I?
Yeah, I think you are.
Really? Yeah,
I mean,
you're a sports fan. He's a sports fan.
Sports fan! I'm a sports fan!
Personally, I think it's a bold move. Yeah. And I think it might blaze a trail for other developers. Who knows what's going to happen there. But at the moment, I think it's a bit thin on the ground. But I think it will only improve in time. But unfortunately, Sony thinks otherwise. This leads me on to the next point of news, which is that PS4 is not going to support EA Access at all because they don't think it's good value for money. They think that you're already paying 40 quid a year for your PS Plus, and they give you free games and stuff already, which is obviously a mixture of all kinds of games. Why should you have to pay a further £4 a month just for EA games?
Yeah, that's their point.
Which, okay, interesting, but
give people a choice, man.
Exactly. Why deny them the option?
Yeah.
Is it because their networks and their actual systems are so crap that they can't actually sort of...
Now that we're paying
it's
for
way
multiplayer, it's probably improved, I'd imagine.
It's way better than it was, but the issue, I think the issue is the underlying current is that PlayStation Now is around the corner.
Yeah. Which is now actually another point of news.
Oh man, I am just...
You are fired.
Captain Segway.
It used to be like Captain News, but then Captain Segway. PlayStation Now is now open beta for North America. So it doesn't really affect us. But I reckon it's, like you say, they want to push the PlayStation Now thing. They want that to be the platform. They don't want developers going out on their own, they want to still control it, and they're thinking for the future, which is another interesting subject. Which we'll tackle at a different podcast.
Yeah, but I think it's because Sony as well. They're smart. They know that the console at the moment. This will come into our debate, I'm sure. But they know that the consoles at the moment, in terms of games, are like the core place for developers to make games for.
Yeah.
So they're probably just thinking, well, you probably need our tech more than we actually need you. If that makes sense. So they might be thinking with like people like EA, it's like, well, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think there'll be a U-turn at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they'll pull a Microsoft.
Yeah.
And no one will batter an eyelid because Sony are the public friend #1 right now.
Yeah.
So,
and it's what the people probably want overall anyway. So even if they change their mind, people are going to be like, oh, look, they changed their mind, but oh well, we got what we wanted.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be overly distraught.
I mean, it's an experiment. It might really, really kick off, or then again, it might just fall flat on its ass. But at this point in time where everything is so heavily based on the consumer and everything seems to be geared towards making decisions for the public, I think it's just a bit of a strange move because they've, so far in the PS4's life, it's all been about the gamer, it's all been about the consumer and what people want. So it just seems to be very counter what they've been all about. So I think they'll change it all.
Out of interest, do you know any more about this? I don't know if EA Access is going to be like you download the game or whether you just stream it. Is it a stream thing or is it a game?
Imagine it being streaming. That'll be waiting for
that. I think it'll be downloaded.
It's probably going to be downloaded, isn't it? Yeah. And I mean, to be honest with you, I quite like the idea of it because if you are paying an extra £4 a month, but it means that you're probably more likely to try games that you wouldn't buy, and for a small amount of money, you get to try it, and that's it's not like EA don't have a billion games coming out, so it's not like there's going to be like much to choose from. Okay, it's a bit thin on the ground at the moment, but it's only just starting.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like got to start somewhere,
especially if it's still going next year when Mirror's Edge hits.
Yeah,
those kind of games aren't exactly a million hours long, so you can probably just complete it. In access mode and just go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then don't feel bad about maybe pirating or
you didn't say that.
or borrowing it from your friends.
Yes.
You're giving EA £4 a month.
For
the privilege. So
it's true. It's true. Awesome. Okay, so Resident Evil 1 Remastered has been announced for PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS3 and Xbox 360.
I see a beaming smile on the camera.
Okay, Lena, how stoked are you for this?
Quite stoked. It's like a bit of my childhood that's come back around.
Exactly. I cannot tell you how many times I've played that game. And how many times I played it all the way till you get to the Hunters. And then I was like, no, I'm going to have a break. I'm too scared.
Is that on the lift? Is that something in the lift?
It was, no, you go out, it's when you go out to the garden, you're just about to go out, and then you open the door, and then there's this cutscene, and then all of a sudden a hunter comes through the door.
That's right.
And those things scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, the green,
they're going to be HD, they're going to be
weird
HD
arm things.
But they did remaster it already for the GameCube, didn't they?
They did. It's basically, I think it's based on that. It's from the remake in 2002, was it?
Pretty much around that time.
The GameCube, remake. I think it's kind of like a revised version of that. That's the impression I get.
I really hope when they release it with like the first movie as well.
They probably okay, comments like that, see, is when Kev's being sarcastic. But he says it with such conviction, you don't realise that it's sarcasm at first.
Well, I'm really up for those Resident Evils ones.
Oh, that hurts. It cut me deep.
Yeah. Apparently, it's going to have. It's also going to have the classic control style, as well as a more modern version as well.
Oh, that's all
just to kind of make it a bit easier. But I quite like the idea of actually playing it Classic on the D-pad as well. I'm going to D-pad it
Well,
up.
it'd be nice if you
I'm
could
gonna,
switch between the two.
Like, just turning, then
yeah.
run.
It would be good if you could switch, like, you know how you could with the
probably can.
Halo Anniversary, where you can tap the bumpers to go between the old and new graphics. If you could do that with the control scheme for the new
It'll be an option select.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You almost became a Jill sandwich.
I think you should go down there on your own. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I don't want to remaster the audio. I just want
They
to
should. They totally should. They have to. Come on,
They should
really.
keep it the same with up-res graphics.
Yeah. Hi, I am Jill. Oh no, I am scared.
Help me, please.
Help me.
Daddy, help me. Amazing.
Awesome. So, talking of remakes, check me out, segue.
Oh, wow.
Bioshock. Bioshock's being released for iPhone and iPad.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Very.
It's going to be all kinds of like Apple products friendly.
It's cool.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already got it for Xbox, PS3,
Well,
and
everybody should experience Bioshock.
Mac as well.
Yeah.
But if you haven't played it, do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So, this kind of brings me on to a point.
Mm.
If they're doing it for Apple, why not just make the little jump over to PS Vita?
Yeah. Good question. Don't know.
I'd play it on Vita.
Yeah.
I want it on Vita.
You want to read it? Maybe you should write a strongly worded letter to them.
To 2K.
Oh, not your strong word letters.
Don't
yeah.
get me started. Don't get me started.
So you haven't been subject to a strongly worded letter yet, have you, Lini?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet. Not
I
yet.
look forward to.
It's actually written on paper and then posted.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Strong word.
Yeah.
I'll find out your address.
With like one of those like wax stamps from like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Silent.
Awesome.
So now I'm not fully on the site. If you write something for the site, I'll if I don't agree with it, I won't email you or like give you a Facebook message. You'll just see it.
Just a strongly worded letter.
You just see the letterbox just open the letter and just eyes like.
Awesome. So
yeah, I'm actually going to have to buy an iPhone so that I can get it because I want to continue my Bioshock love as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, definitely.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
That is.
Everyone should experience Bioshock.
I'm sure it'll come out for Android, won't it?
Not reportedly so far,
But
but
interesting.
maybe sometime.
Has to be surely.
Maybe.
The amount of market that's in that Android.
Who knows? It's a bigger market now than the
Oh
iPhone.
yeah, way more.
Even though it's, okay, anyway. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to say my opinion on that. That's all.
Okay, alright.
Speaking of remakes and remasters and stuff like that, The Last of Us Remaster is the 5th biggest launch in the UK of 2014 so far. Apparently, the whole reason that they're doing The Last of Us Remastered is to capture the people that have gone back to PlayStation after getting the Wii. Can you believe that? That's what there's apparently their commentary on it.
It's their market.
They reckon that they've lost a lot. Obviously they lost a lot of people that were potential PS3 people to the Nintendo Wii. So that's what's made them decide to remake The Last of Us, so that all those people that didn't buy a PS3 can still enjoy it. Which I guess
it makes. I know. Bear with me with this,
okay?
Because it kind of makes some sort of warped sense,
right?
If you imagine you were like, I don't know, 14, 15 when you did PS2,
yeah, and
you were like, okay, I really like PS2, really like PS2. PS3 is way out my price bracket.
Yeah.
I'm kind of now not really that much into games anymore. I'm going to go for a Wii. It's kind of more of a casual thing. Then you hear about The Last of Us from loads of different people, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go back into games again. You're like, it's kind of on an old system. Don't really want to play PS3 anymore.
Yeah.
I've heard PS4's good. When you get into that, it kind of makes sense
It does.
in a way.
Yeah. I know it's like barely a year, but it does make sense.
It's like
yeah.
How does it compare?
I played like the first 5-10 minutes to see what it was like. For me, it isn't a huge jump, but it runs so smooth.
Wow.
Like ridiculously smooth, and it's nice on that controller.
Yeah, sure.
It's
this is why because if Ollie was here tonight, I was actually going to remind him of the fact he was going to lend me his PS3 to play the game because I still haven't played it. But now it's out on PS4 because at some point I will be getting a PS4. This is inevitable because I want one. And I'm really glad they've actually remastered it because now I get to play it with the controller that I feel comfortable with and like a remastered version of the game. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Which is
it's handy that it's a lot cheaper than the other crop of games out at the moment. So
yeah,
you can pick up for about 25, I think.
Really?
I think that's about the cheapest I've seen it.
Yeah, that's like the definitive edition of Tomb Raider was cheaper, wasn't it, than any other released?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Wicked.
Sweet.
Well, Assassin's Creed Rogue has been announced, and that's coming out in November. And that's going to be the old gen Assassin's Creed game for this year.
I'm just not excited.
You're not excited? It looks quite good.
Antarctic, man.
It is, yeah. Boats, like pirates in the Antarctic.
I know, like, that's just me, because I'm excited for Halo, and people could be like, oh, it's just be like all the other Halos. Yeah, I mean, like, Assassin's Creed's like that for me, it's like
Halo's so much more, because it's they've actually, like, really put the effort in remaking them all, you know.
Oh no, I'm not all about the remakes, I'm all about just, like, games in general. Right. Like, everyone's, like, people who haven't played Halo or played the first one didn't get along with it, were like, oh god, Halo 5. But for me, I'm like, oh, well, Assassin's Creed, I played the first two, and, like, that was enough for me. It was like the third one came out, and then Black Flag, and then like the new one. It's like I just feel like it's just a franchise. It's just gonna die out in a bad way.
Yeah, maybe eventually.
Sorry, Creed fans.
I'm so invested in the whole series. It's just like I kind of don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
And usually Assassin's Creed is the game that I wait for. Like I ask for Christmas. It's like just give me that for Christmas. Like you know, but. This, I actually might get this, and that might tide me over. You know, but I don't know how deep of a story it's going to be, or you know.
If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I just can't think like they bash so many of them out. Sorry, they make so many of them in such a short space of time that like I just kind of think.
Are you a Creeder, Liam?
No, I tried it. I really did. I really desperately wanted to be in with the cool kids who all played.
Which one did you try? First
one. I thought I started.
Oh, wow.
Join me, Leanie, as a loser.
Leanie, try the second one.
This is what everyone says to me, but there's only so much jumping into hay bales that I can really stomach for one game.
there is quite a lot. There is quite a lot to jump into, but
it's so strategically placed around the city.
It's the problem with
it's like people moving in for it. Like
the problem with the first one is it's about 3 things, copy and paste, and it's so boring and monotonous.
Yeah.
When you get to the end of the first one, the story gets really, really good, and the second one. It's great from start to finish. It really is. It's by far the best one.
The second one was one of the best improved sequels I've actually ever played, but I just had enough by the end of it.
If you're not into hay bales, try out Black Flag instead.
Yes, I've been told to.
Jump into the water instead.
Yeah, I mean it's massive.
Yeah,
it is huge. It's a great game.
Yeah,
really. Was the lady?
Yes, there is a lady in it.
Yeah.
Or there's Liberation, which is the lady, which is very good. That's like cheap. That's cheap right now. I think it's on a PSN sale actually.
Can't even catch up with them.
Might be on an Xbox sale. I don't know. I know you don't have a PlayStation now.
That was a Vita game, but it was ported across the PS3 as well, wasn't it? So actually, that's the only one I haven't played.
It's good.
I should play it.
It's good.
I'm gonna pick that up. I'm gonna pick it up.
Very good. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's on PC as well. I think it's everywhere. Well, like every Assassin's Creed game is.
Yeah.
PCs are shit, then, aren't they?
We'll get to that in a bit.
Well, I just wasted all that money.
No.
I never know what I was doing.
Now.
I was wasted on tequila one night, and I was like, I saw this ordering site, like, you know what?
Blind ordering.
Trying to put it together like upside down Lego.
Graphics card goes in it.
Anyway. Evolve is delayed until February next year. Well, is it a bad thing or is it?
Yeah, it's horrific. It's horrific.
No, it's not. I don't think it is because there's so much other cool stuff coming out that because I said on the last HUDcast that actually for me might slip the net because there's so many other things coming out that I want to buy. So the fact that now it's coming out in February gives me some breathing room to finish all those other games, and then I can enjoy it. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm in two minds because, like, yeah, it's cool that we were talking about earlier, Neil, Tom, and you, and can pick it up eventually.
Yeah.
But for me, that was pretty much 50% of what the end of the year was going to be. It was going to be like Destiny, and then Evolve, and then everything in between. Like, I was going to play Shadow of Mordor and the Evil Within, like in between.
Yeah.
But like now, I'm like,
Evil Within was delayed as well, wasn't it?
Evil Within still October.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was delayed.
It's still October.
To be fair though, there are a plethora. Of
Yeah, it's
games.
still a lot of
There's
games, you know.
plenty.
But for me,
don't tell me Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4's still there.
No,
Sweet.
that's November.
Yeah, still. It's like, for me, like the way I game, I have a constant like multiplayer game that I continually do, and then I do a single player alongside it.
Yeah.
That's the way I game, and I always have done. So yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing. I just have to continue with Destiny.
Yeah. I think it's going to keep you pretty occupied.
Yeah, it was. I never got, or maybe someone did, and I didn't listen. But I didn't know if there was confirmation that there was going to be actual split screen play with Evolve or not.
There isn't.
There's definitely not. See, that was the one reason I was really looking forward to it. Are they absolutely doing away with the split screen thing now?
With Evolve, yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Better not do it with Halo. I'm literally going to cry.
Oh,
They won't. I mean, that's the whole thing with Halo.
And Gears of War.
Yeah.
You'll be alright. You'll be alright, man. You'll be okay.
So,
I'll touch you.
oh. So stepping away from video games briefly.
Really?
There is an official licensed Zelda Monopoly game coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually I thought I'd just mention because I just think that's really cool.
Have you seen the Mario Monopoly game?
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
a really good one.
There's
There's a Mario one.
Different themes.
There's a Walking Dead one.
I've got the Star Wars one. That
There's
was
a Walking
like
Dead one.
20
That's
years ago,
that's
so.
pretty cool, actually.
There's a Walking Dead one.
Have you seen the actual board for the Zelda one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
haven't.
looks pretty badass.
It looks pretty damn
It
cool.
looks
Yeah.
awesome.
You look forward to it?
I think I might be making a purchase on that.
Do you know what? Like,
It's pretty cool.
I have a massive. I just have a massive want to just get back into board games. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just
I'm just gonna sell all my consoles and my PC. just go full into like.
It's all
board
about
games.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, there's a new.
D&D.
Bit of
Yeah,
D&D.
D&D. There's a bit of Magic the Gathering.
Magic the
and
Gathering.
And then also I'm going to get into the Witcher board game as well. That's out.
Oh, there's a
So,
Witcher board
yeah,
game.
Plus,
I know there's a Gears of War one.
Yeah,
Mousetrap.
Oh,
Mousetrap? That's not a board game.
Frustration.
It's the best board game ever.
Sorry. Cluedo.
Cluedo. Guess who?
Oh.
Awesome.
If I do my hair in a particular way, I look like a Guess Who character.
Really?
I used to love Guess Who. It's badass.
Yeah.
Well, my girlfriend actually.
Connect 4.
My
It's not
girlfriend.
really a board game,
Yeah.
is it?
Well, no.
No.
It's fun enough.
My
though.
girlfriend changed the Guess Who board game around to some weird game called Guess Who's Crying Inside. And it was like a board game based on people
Guess
who
who's
have
dead
like-
inside.
Yeah. It's like really strange.
Guess the rapist. Sorry.
Right.
We're going off on a weird tangent.
Yeah, that turned out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turned out bad.
Done.
I'm going to stop where I stop. Ideas keep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
not good. It's not good. So, Thailand's Board of Film and Video have banned Tropico 5 because they fear it's going to impact the peace and order of the country.
Sorry, who? Sorry?
Thailand. So it's
Thailand.
basically,
Thailand.
Thailand is basically this game Tropico 5. I'm guessing it's on a PC game, like a strategy
it's
style.
It's on 360 as well.
Is that
right?
360? Yeah.
It's really, really good. If you like Civilization and things like that,
Right.
Dictator, then
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I
think-
remember playing 2, I think, ages ago.
Basically, I think this one introduces the ability to be a dictator, and they don't like the idea of that. So
What?
banned.
Blue. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Well, you get to choose what kind of leader you're going to be, don't you? So you get to be like,
Nice one. You can
you can be nice, or you can be rule with an iron fist, and apparently they think that that's going to influence
Jesus. What are they going to
people
do
and affect the
about
peace and
Far Cry?
order.
What the hell are they going to do about
Well,
Far Cry 4?
clearly not going to do anything about Far Cry.
Yeah.
Think about not even allowed in the country.
Interesting.
For what?
So at the border, have you played Far Cry 4? No, sorry, you're not allowed in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. And the last bit of news is that Epic have started Epic Games UK. It's a new game studio.
Oh.
So any budding video game creators, developers, designers, whatever, get going and start applying. It's
awesome.
the office is in Guildford.
Oh, really?
So, some job opportunities are open right now for anyone interested in getting into the games industry. Really.
See you guys later.
Can we talk about Epic for a bit?
Yeah,
Because I want to ramble for about 50 minutes about how I really can't wait for
You've got five minutes.
Has it actually officially been announced?
Oh, come on. Dude.
I thought they were going to do. I thought. What's Cliff Blinsky's new game that he's teamed up with? Bosky Productions. Bosky Productions. But they teamed up to do something that's not Unreal Tournament, have
That guy.
He's
completely new character, completely new company.
Did Cliff work on levels for Unreal or something?
Yeah,
he's
been director for ages in Epic. Yeah, so I really can't wait. I just want it now.
Yeah,
I want it now.
It's been delayed though, right?
No. There's no ETA because they're building it with the community.
Oh right.
So they're saying, here's the tools, build what you want, and then they're also building their own maps, and it's just going to be a combination of user generated maps.
Aren't they doing some kind of weird marketplace thing with it or something?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm being really dense right now. Is this Bosky Productions that you're on about?
No,
this is Epic.
So what's the thing that Cliff Blinsky's gone on to with Bosky Productions that they're doing, which is some kind of shooter which they're not revealing
It's
much
a
of?
free-to-play arena shooter, because that's a brand new thing.
Yeah, they made it seem like it was.
He's probably a bit like Peter Molyneux. He just keeps banging on about random ideas that people have been doing for decades, and he thinks it's a brand new idea.
Yeah, and what got me, as I said in the last podcast, he slated the Gears of War thing. He was like, oh, here at Bosky, we're not going to be releasing any CG trailers. That's not what we're about.
I know.
And it's like, oh, dude, you don't know what you're about. You just a dick. Sorry, Cliff, if you're watching our HUDcast,
He won't.
Good, you're a dick.
There we go.
If he
write
does,
strongly worded letters.
and if he does, he can expect a strongly worded letter.
Expect one coming your way sometime soon.
Just through his letterbox, a picture of penis. Through the letterbox.
With my eyes.
With your eye.
Okay.
Alright, moving on.
So, main event. Now, I must stipulate, before we go forward with this is, we're going to be above board, we're going to be friendly. There's not going to be any hatred towards anything in particular. But the main subject of the night is PC versus consoles. What do we think? Which one, or what? It's not necessarily which one's better. But what are our thoughts on this?
I don't think versus is a particularly good word.
Versus.
Yeah.
It's versus.
Oh, it's versus.
PC and console.
Because we're all
What's the
winners
difference
in this.
between...
We're all winners in this.
Yeah.
We all play these games and we all can consume everything.
So can we provide the listeners, watchers, some consumer advice on
we
both,
certainly can.
and hopefully allow them to make decisions on what they
Here's
invest
my
in.
advice. Do really good at school and get a good job, and you can afford all of them. That way you're a winner in every respect. That's my key advice. If I could afford a console, every single console, and a massive PC, I'd get all of them, and I would enjoy it in every respect. That's...
Are you suggesting I'm a successful individual? Because I've got all of them.
No, you're just lucky. You won your Xbox One.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that you'll have a really good job, which you'll have to spend all of your time doing, and you'll have no time to play video games.
Yeah, but Bill Gates has loads of time now.
Are you suggesting that everyone who listens and watches this should become the next Bill Gates?
Yes.
Can be.
Can be,
To be fair, it's not difficult. You just rip off Apple, and then you're away. Really.
And then
So
steal Internet Explorer, and just do loads of other stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know how you could steal such a piece of crap like Internet Explorer. But yeah.
He was a very good cyberbully. Let's not get on to Bill Gates.
Poor Cliff Blinsky and Bill Gates. They're watching this. We're sorry, guys.
We're not.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for my comments towards Bill Gates.
Anyway, right. So,
So who are we going to start with? Matt, come on, kick it off.
I'll kick it off.
You're biased already. So.
No, we're all biased in our own ways. That's the beauty of this, though.
Yeah.
I'm not biased because I have everything.
That's just true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I-
And to be honest with you, I've had everything at one point.
Yeah.
So kind of anyway.
I'm not all of it.
And I'm not trying to show off by saying I have everything. You know, I am
It's a choice.
ridiculously obsessed with games, and I probably shouldn't have everything, but I do. So you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
like I think that PC gaming is a little bit more involved than console. There's no doubting about that. You know, you do have to do your research before you buy. You have to. There's no denying that if you want to keep it for a long time, there is some aspects of upgrading. But I think there are some common misconceptions these days in terms of the fact that how long things last.
Right. Okay.
Because back in the day, you know, when I first started building PCs and had PCs, you know, you couldn't have a computer for more than 6 months before it was out of date because everything was moving along so quickly. But now things are lasting a lot longer, and you can extract your tech for a lot longer. You know, the prime example in point is that, you know, the Witcher 2 at the time was high spec, and it's still, you know, it's now at like a middle ground-ish, you know, of if you want to you know, explore it in its full potential. And yes, of course, there are games that completely and utterly rinse the highest spec PCs. You know, that's what they're designed to do.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you can still play these games to a degree that is alongside, if not still better than PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
and these are the misconceptions that, you know, certain people have. Like, and I'm not saying they're wrong. You know, there are, you know, if you don't do your research properly, if you get something that's a little bit old hat and you didn't know it was old hat, like you're gonna have to upgrade a little bit more quickly. But I was fortunate to have a friend who is, you know, he knows his stuff a lot, and the PC I've built will last me a long time.
Do you know what the specs are at all?
Yeah. I mean, I've got at the moment I've got 8 gig RAM because that's all I need. You know, I can expand to easily up to 32 if I want.
You do 32, can't you? The 64-bit.
Yeah, I've got a GTX 770 graphics card, which is the third best GTX graphics card you can get behind Titan 780.
Is that that's AMD?
It's NVIDIA.
Oh, it's NVIDIA.
It's NVIDIA.
Okay.
Do
you know how much, like, what the specs of that is, or? Like,
I mean, it's
Ridiculous.
it's 2 gig.
2 gig,
2
right?
gig. And at the moment, that rinses everything that's coming out. I mean, it'll rinse the Witcher 3 as well when it comes out.
Sure.
So, you know. And I've got an i5 processor with 3.6 gigahertz, which can be
Is it? Or 4 cores?
it's 4 cores, but it can be overclocked. Which is, you know, my graphics card can be overclocked as well. Which is another thing if you're looking to
do you
build PCs.
do that?
You can, yeah. I mean,
you haven't got it overclocking.
Not right now, but you know, you need another fan to but you know, it's not
or liquid or whatever it is. Like,
no, don't fuck with liquid.
You're not gonna you're not gonna do that.
No. I've been advised never to touch those cooling systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Water cooling is supposed to be the most efficient
and the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you do it right,
well, of course you do it right.
fine,
Yeah.
but like, you know, otherwise you've got to have about 1 billion fans and the thing.
Well, I mean, I've got.
It's fair enough, but yeah.
I've got 4 fans. But my PC is fucking huge.
It's rubbish. Frozen peas.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. But you know, I mean, I just think my point is that, you know, there are going to be people who just. You know, I think like a good analogy is that people who work on a PC all day, they might not want to come home and sit on a PC again.
Well, this was going to be my exact point that I was going to bring up. It's like I work at a desk all day. I don't want to go then sit at another desk and play like my games.
Well, I mean, my counter to that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I don't think anyone's wrong in this opinion. Because everyone, you know, but I've got mine hooked up to my main TV in my front room. You can play big picture mode in Steam and it works amazing.
It's good that these days you can use your 360 controller, or you can use like your console controllers with it, which you couldn't do back in the day.
Yeah, because one argument I had is that like someone was saying about you can use the controllers, and someone was like, oh, but it's like a pain in the arse because every time you set it up, you've got to configure the controller with the PC. But surely that can't be true.
Not every
No,
time.
it's not save it like once. Once you've done it once, it's done.
That's right.
You need to download a patch, which is really easy. It takes like seconds.
Yeah.
And then the 360 controller is yours to use for whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, most if not all games now use it, apart from your RTSs and the older games.
Yeah. And PC gaming is set up for 4K, isn't it?
Yeah.
In which case consoles.
Well, technically, the PS4 and the Xbox One are set up for 4K.
Are they?
Yeah. I mean, it might not do it yet, but it's all ready for it.
So, I see. Like in time. Yeah.
Nini, anything on PC you want to add in? Like,
not really. I still use a joystick.
joysticks are cool, man. I was actually, I looked up the other week. I remember, I think it wasn't Rogue Squadron. It was Rebel Assault 2.
Oh, nice.
It was a game I used to play on the PC. This was like, wow, a very long time ago. And I remember getting a Sidewinder, Microsoft Sidewinder joystick just to play that game. But the thing was, it was too advanced for the game, and it wasn't compatible, so it wouldn't work or something, and it would make everything just judder all over the place the entire time. It made the game impossible to play. So I ended up getting a £5 cheap like analog joystick, and that was like the only way to play that game.
I think
really good.
Quickly before we move back on to some other points I want to say. No Man's Sky with a joystick.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would work.
It depends. It depends on how much.
I don't think it would.
I think it definitely would in terms of the
space
exploration.
Space
In terms of when you're actually on the ground, I'm not sure how.
That would work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, actually, you mean the space stuff?
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
That would be good.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Good.
Switch Strike Zero with a joystick as well.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the one thing that entices consoles, and has always enticed me consoles over PC, is the actual titles that are dedicated to consoles and not PCs. Not because I've never been like a massive PC gamer. The first game that ever came out and it was on PC and not on consoles was Far Cry, and it came out and I was like, I really wish I had a massively beastly PC so I could play this game. Like, in memory, that's actually the only game that's come out on PC that hasn't come out on console, where I thought, I really want a PC for this. Every other game has either just been, dedicated to console, and it's on the PC as well, yet the lucky PC guys get to see it in all its absolute massive glory.
Yeah.
I just think that developers are more coded at the moment to focusing on the console generation, which is why I'm just...
I don't know about that. I don't know if they are focused or not. They're definitely still into that PC.
I mean, they have to. They are. Every game, apart from exclusives, does come to PC.
Oh yeah, it comes to PC.
Is on PC.
Let me tell you my history now of PC experiences.
Okay, there we go.
And against console, and the fact that I'm getting old,
You are.
And I just want an easy life. I've got a few years on you guys. I'm getting old. I'm an old man. I'm withering away. I just want a simple life. So anyway, basically, we've had like PCs for God knows how long, and I remember, never really having that much problems. But I wouldn't ever really buy PC games. I'd buy the odd one, like Rogue Squadron 2 and all that kind of stuff. They're all quite old games anyway. I remember getting the one that changed it was getting Turok, the PC.
Oh, sorry, I love Turok.
Yeah, awesome game.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have an N64, but I had a PC, and it's like, it's out on the PC, I'll get that. Didn't work at all. Like, compatibility issues across the board. And then I started realising that you can't just buy any game, or I can't play this on my family PC. I'm going to have to actually, start designing something or building something of my own. And it was obviously after that then I started getting into, I'd get like a hand-me-down PC, and I would, I'd buy a graphics card, and that's the only thing I'd put in there, and I'd start learning the insides of how it all works and stuff, up until the point where I knew how to build one from scratch. So like, I think it was 2006, I decided I'm going to buy and build myself my PC, and it's going to be a beast. And I mean, by today's standards, you could probably fit about 4 of my PCs into your one. Or maybe more.
Yeah,
and I spent a lot of money, well over £1,000 on this. It was a beast at the time. It was probably about 1,500 quid. The monitor's actually still over there. That I had. That's a lovely monitor, basically it was a beast. It was a powerhouse, and I got it, and I played Battlefield 2 on it, and all this kind of stuff, and it was just destroying. It was lovely, and then. Yeah, like you say, probably by today's standards, it's probably changed. It's probably the PC world's probably changed. PC world, sorry. The PC universe is probably it's probably changed a lot. But in my day of doing it, basically it moved so quickly that within probably about a year, to be fair, it was out of date. And I was buying games for it that it just couldn't run. It couldn't play it, and I found it struggling. And I would lower it even to like the lowest settings and stuff. And I looked into everything I bought. Like it was a beast of a machine, and it couldn't keep up really. And I sort of think, yeah, it could probably run it to the same kind of standards as the console, but then I could just get the console. The thing about getting a console is that not only does it have a lifespan like the last gen of like 8 years or more, which apart from George, who I work with, who today has said that he bought a PC in 2006 that's still working today, which is incredible. It's the only first case I've ever heard. But I challenge anyone else to actually have a gaming PC without upgrading anything on it that will last as long as the lifespan of a console. And obviously, a console is purpose built. It's only designed to run those games, which means that it might not be able to keep up with the power of the PC, but you're paying a lot less, but you're getting a hell of a lot for your money. And if I was to say, back in 2006, probably it was still PS2 at that point, was I getting £1,000 more value for money than a PS2? No, I wasn't. I was not getting that much more value, that much better graphics than what I was getting on a console. I just wasn't getting it.
You could have bought every console out at the time and all those games.
Yeah.
I mean, I always respect your opinion.
Yeah.
There are like, as I said in my first argument, things are so much more different now.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Things will last longer, and developers are developing for a wider spectrum of technologies, and I mean, you can spend a lot of money if you want to, but I didn't, because I didn't need to. Like, if you do the research and you build it yourself,
if you actually bother to piece it together yourself, obviously it takes a lot of effort, because then you need to make sure. Mind you, these days I don't know with things like Steam, because obviously Steam wasn't around when I was doing this. How is it with compatibility? Like, do you still have specs of what graphics card and things like that is compatible with, or is it a bit more?
Steam? You wouldn't have any issues with Steam.
So that's interesting, because obviously back in the day you would have to look on the back and you'd have to find your graphics card on the box, otherwise you're gambling.
What happens is, the perfect example, I've got the original Doom, the original Castle Wolfenstein, and I'm running Watch Dogs, all on Steam. That's the entire spectrum of my range of games on my PC.
Which actually could be a potential answer to a point I was going to bring up, in that playing older games on a PC is nigh on impossible without an older spec machine. But obviously it depends whether, I guess, the developers go back on and redevelop those games, which obviously they have done for Doom. And if I was to pick up one of my old PC games from 1999, I probably wouldn't be able to play it on a modern computer because it's, you know, the operating system, all that kind of stuff. It's geared for that time, for that system. The only thing I would say is, again, I tend to keep my consoles. I know that some people don't, but I've still got my Mega Drive from 1991, and if I want to, I can just plug that in and play Mega Drive games straight away, where if I wanted to play those PC games, I couldn't without going and buying an old PC.
It's the patches, man.
Yeah, there's definitely,
I ran Grim Fandango, which is the original copy I had from back in the day.
Which is like 94 or something.
So old.
It's timeless.
It's
wow, that's probably 98 or something.
Something like that. And the original Sam and Max, both of those original copies, and they work fine through a program called Scum VM.
Oh right.
It works. It's legit. It's fun. And you know, it basically decodes and translates it into your operating system, which in my case is Windows 7 64-bit. So it just transfers it straight over, and you can play it.
Fair enough.
As if it was back in the day.
That's pretty cool then, because that's changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, man. That's the whole thing. Like, I'm not saying, you know, there are just these misconceptions now, and, you know, and it has changed so much. Like, you know,
my only other thing, which is a personal thing, is that okay, I own an Xbox, but I have an absolute vendetta against Windows.
Okay.
I will never use Windows. I mean, I will never pay. Unfortunately, I have to use Windows with some of my work things. So I have like Windows installed on my Mac, so I can fire it up and use it whenever I have to, arm's length. But I will never, ever, ever again buy Windows. And just basically, to me, all that like amazing hardware that you put into a PC, it's like running Windows is like an insult to that beautiful, beautiful hardware. That, you know, and I kind of feel like no matter how powerful that machine is, when you're running Windows on it, it's only going to like destroy it, and it's going to end in tears, and it just sucks. Like I would say, like if you can, I mean, that's where Steam OS could be the saviour, like, and could change my mind about the whole thing. Because if I could get like a PC that running purely Steam OS, like pure, beautiful Linux, like that might actually be a way around it. Having said that, again, Macs are, there's a lot more games out for Mac now, and Steam is out on Mac, and there's a lot available. Not compared, it's a fraction compared to PC, but it's getting more and more popular.
For the indie titles, you can still play them.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue comes in when you want to do anything more than that. Because my Mac struggles. I mean,
well, it depends what Mac you got, really.
I mean, it was a good, you know, it was the top of the line for 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, but anyway, I mean, I see where you're coming from with Windows.
I think the problem is also with the whole PC or Mac. You know, like the fact that it's running an OS underneath it, which is designed to run lots of different things. All kinds of things are going on at the same time. Where you look at a console and it's just purpose built. It plays that game and that game only, and that's all it's really doing. Okay, some of these the new next gen things have multitasking built into it, but again, it's specifically tailored multitasking. It's not like, you know, you could install, you could have 1 billion processes running on your Windows or Mac that you don't even know is running. And then that's affecting the performance of your machine.
I'm going to challenge you there.
Okay.
Because PS4 and Xbox One only have 5 GB dedicated. The rest of it is for OS.
Yeah.
My computer is running 7,986 gigabytes of my 8 gig RAM.
Yeah.
At all times to my Steam big picture.
Okay, but are you aware of every single process that your machine's running?
Yeah, I turn it all off. Everything off.
Will you kill all those processes?
Everything.
Okay, but that's fair enough.
Because I don't have anything on it apart from Steam.
Is that something that a regular Joe is going to do?
Well, you know, this is the choice we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about consumer advice. You know, like if you just want to jump into games, then don't get a PC.
Don't do it. I think it's all. I think for me, it's mostly about being like just doing and playing something and having something that just sets you in your ways. Like for me, for instance, like when I was younger, I had a PC. But that PC was like the family PC. And when I play my games, like everybody was sharing that PC. It wasn't mine. Everybody shared it. So like we you know, I had to get off it sometimes and whatnot. When I finally got my console,
I want to play Age of Empires.
When I got my
Age of Empires.
Yeah, Age of Empires good.
Age of Empires 2 is where it's at.
Oh yeah.
But when I got like my Mega Drive, my Master System, that was when I had it like in my room. That was mine. It was nobody else's. Yeah. And like from that point on, that was what I think that's what set me in my console ways, and that's why I think I've just been like coded to just consoles from that point on. Yeah. And I think as you know, as my life goes on, at the moment I've got I've still got my consoles, and they are the source for like all my entertainment, all my media. I do all my love film, my Netflix, like my movies, my Blu-ray, my games, everything comes from that console. I don't have a PC at this point, but I think like later on in my life, I probably will get a PC, and things will probably just change around again. I think it's just the way that my life's gone in terms of having a PC in a certain respect and having a console, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think later in life, if I probably will get a PC, and and then later in life, if I do have kids, they'll probably nick it off me and they'll play it, and then I'll get their console.
PC again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think
circle of life.
I think the total key thing is here, like, no one's wrong.
No.
And if someone tells you you're wrong on a forum or online, they're a fucking dick.
They're a troll and they're a moron, like... No,
and they'll be getting stern letters written to all of them.
Every single one. Just contact me, alright?
A handwritten letter.
Yeah.
None of this forum trolling. It's going to be a handwritten letter.
Yeah. And I joke about being part of the master race. Of course I'm not part of the master race. There is no such thing as a master race. It's fucking bullshit.
I'm not comfortable with that term. Because the only other people in the world's history that's called themselves the master race, don't you?
Yes.
Nazis.
You went there.
So, really,
Yeah.
like, can we just drop this master race thing? And then, I definitely see your points about PC, and you definitely raise totally valid points.
And so do you in terms of console. But the thing is, I appreciate those points because I also do console gaming. And I always will do. Like the thing is, when I decided to go PC, it was right for me then, and I wanted a project, and I wanted to it's something that I can just top up. I can maintain it. I can if something goes wrong, which I'm sure it won't, but if it does, then I can just address it, and it's all cool. And I'll just keep going, keep building. I can put. I can put 18 different hard drives in that thing. And I might start running it as a media center as well for all my movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not it's just slowly becoming part. It's just
the way you discover how to use your equipment that you've got. That's literally it. Yeah, it's literally it. I think there is like with these people that are just hating on I think a lot of that comes down to jealousy. Because a lot of people that just probably don't have decent PCs and just have their consoles and things like that. I couldn't imagine someone who's got an amazing PC and a PS4 and an Xbox and a Wii or whatever, and they're just hating on their three consoles that they've bought and just, do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm when I got the PC and I was like, right, I'm gonna buy shitloads in the Steam sale. I replaced a few games I had on my PlayStation that I wanted to keep on the PC, and it's literally because I know that my PS3 will break at some point. It's inevitable. At some point it will. At some point. My 360 is it's dying legs. Right?
My 360 did die twice.
Yeah.
I've got the original component one, which I've had for 8 years.
The white one?
And a 20 gigabyte hard drive.
Is it wrapped in a towel?
It died twice, but it was always within its warranty, so I sent it back and they fixed it for free, and then obviously sent it back and they extended the warranty. It died again within that period, and then it's been fine ever since, luckily.
You're the only person who's actually managed to do that. You're famous.
Yeah.
I am. There we go.
Yeah, I just think, it's just all of our preferences. I've got a huge library on my PC now, and I know I don't legally own those games on Steam, and I never will. That doesn't bother me. A lot of people do have a problem with the fact.
How do you mean?
That fact.
What, you bought the right to play the game?
Yeah.
That's the same with every game, though. They don't really
Technically,
say that. But even like when you buy a console disc game, actually, technically within the law, you're only buying the right to play it. Not that they can stop you from. Well, I suppose with these modern consoles they can because of the access to the internet, but they can't really stop you from playing them. But that's the same with every game.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, can I just say one reason that I would absolutely like love a PC as well? Because I just love to mod the fuck out of Skyrim. It's like I would just love like Skyrim. I just want to I just watch people like do these mods. I'm like, oh man, that for me is just like modding games and like doing that stuff.
GTA 5, man. That's why I sold my PS3 copy because I'm getting a PC one.
That is just one thing that just consoles whatever.
That is awesome. The only worry is that I've seen like GTA 4 mods and all kinds of stuff. They can be extremely volatile, extremely unstable, and it can just like crash your machine straight away. But it's still a great idea. I think it's something you can't get with consoles. Go on, Leanie. Go on.
Right, I said it's part and parcel with modding, but the best thing that I've ever come across in any game ever in my life is playing Skyrim. And the dragons are Thomas the Tank Engine.
Quality. Yes. I saw some guy like mod it so he was just running down a mountain with like 1,000 cheese wheels. I was like, I want that feeling.
And like, oh man, I've just been spending a little bit of time with Gary's mod as well, man.
Oh,
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So
much fun.
Things are just awful though.
I'm going to say another sort of positive for PC, but then something that I've got over was that for me, first-person shooters was always PC was the only way to play a first-person shooter. Like a mouse and a keyboard was the only for me. Like before, the only way. Like I would have like laughed at playing a first-person shooter on a console. Obviously, I didn't have an Xbox, didn't have Halo and stuff like that. You didn't really get that many FPSs on the PS2. You had like Red Faction and Time Splitters. Yeah,
Soldier of Fortune.
I didn't really play a lot of them.
Was that PS2?
Soldier of Fortune.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I don't
know.
But I think it was probably the 360.
What Soldier of Fortune?
No. Just the whole getting the 360. Excuse me, getting the 360, and then just delving into like Bioshock and stuff like that. Made me learn how to play those games with a controller. It felt so alien at first.
For me, it was GoldenEye.
But now I'm so used to it. I couldn't. Well, yeah, GoldenEye, but that was different because you would move around forward and then strafe with the analog stick, but then you'd have to use the C buttons to look up and.
Oh no, I had the C buttons, strafe. C buttons.
Oh yeah,
strafe.
you could strafe, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was look up and down with that.
Oh, it was turn left and right. Wasn't
it was an awful control.
That was awful.
But the thing is, when you got used to it, it just felt like the best thing ever. But when you go back and play it after like having like a 360, you're like,
and if you wanted to aim like that, you'd have to hold
the thing and then turn.
And you would stop, and you would like just.
Yeah, absolutely awful.
But yeah, I mean, the whole controller for FPS thing felt alien at first, but now I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go back.
Yeah.
But,
I remember it was the first time I went to, Madame Tussauds in London, the wax museum. I basically went there, my dad took me there when I was really, really young. It was when the A64 just came out, and they had like the James Bond like exhibit. And he was like, oh yeah, James Bond exhibit. I was like, yeah, cool. And they had like GoldenEye on the N64, and he was like, oh, you can play the new game. I remember just like getting the controller and going to play it and just like looking at the floor, just running around like. I was just like, this is rubbish. I was like, how does it even work? Yeah, it's weird.
Awesome. Well, if we can round out this conversation then into
a definitive
like pro, maybe for each.
I think PC is something that you need to dedicate yourself to.
There's no doubt that it's going to be better quality.
Yeah, and there is no doubt you can play a lot of great indie titles that don't come to consoles. You don't even need a great one for a lot of them.
No,
you can use just a regular laptop, regular family thing.
Yeah,
I think if you're in for indie games.
We interrupt this HUDcast due to some technical difficulties. We do apologise for these, and we'll return you to your regular scheduled programming as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties there for a second. The whole thing crashed and died, and we effectively lost everything.
Good on PCs.
It's actually a Mac.
And
I bow my head in shame.
Not all Windows 7s watch me.
It's true.
Anyway.
Oh dear.
Before Rich punches me.
I'm not in a. I'm in a broken man. I'm a broken man. It's not good. It's not good. I've never seen this happen before.
We need a definitive answer.
So if we're going to round off, PC and console. Matt, take it away.
I'll take it away and perform a swan song. Well, it's pretty simple, really, isn't it?
Yes.
But people seem to fail to grasp that sometimes. Whatever you play on, it's fine.
Yeah. There isn't a right or wrong answer, really.
There isn't at all. You know, if you want to dedicate the time to running a PC, you know, there are now more options than ever. It runs longer more than ever. Things are more cheaper more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these misconceptions can be put to bed in most cases. And, you know, for what, you know, I know you have your particular reasons against Windows. Some people might have their own particular reasons why they, you know. Console gaming is for people a lot of the time, just because it's simple. You know, I know Ollie just likes to plug in and play. That's fine.
Yeah,
you know, I like that sometimes.
That's my attitude these days. But,
you know, but saying that, you know, my PC now is set up where I can just plug in and play. You know, as soon as I turn on my PC, big picture mode is the fact I don't even see the Windows interface. It just turns on the big picture mode, and it just goes on. And I've got my whole library there, and I just click on what I want to play, and I'm done.
Yeah.
So you know, there is that option on PC too.
Kind of like a console in itself.
Yeah. I think it depends a lot on how much time you have as well in your schedule. Everyone has different schedules. Everyone has different work. You know, everyone works different hours for the day. You know, like the plug and play thing with the console. So you know, some people they come home from work and they're just like they come home, they make dinner, they eat dinner, and they've got enough time to plug and play, and that's it. Whereas like console gamers, I think, you know, like you said, you've got to be pretty dedicated to wanting it for it to work perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, there's the upkeep which you don't usually have on the console unless you download updates every now and again. But you know, with PCs, once it's done, once it's running, you know, I personally haven't had an issue whatsoever where I keep having to go, oh damn, I need to run that driver, I need to run that driver, blah 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 blah. It just isn't. It just doesn't. You know, it isn't like it was when I last did PC gaming some 10, 12 years ago. So, you know, I think there's a lot that can be said for PC gaming. And again, no one's opinion is wrong. If you don't want to do PC gaming, fine. But, you know, there are misconceptions and there are things, there are arguments that are flat out wrong. And like, if you come out and say, I don't do PC gaming for this particular reason, you know, expect someone to say, okay, well, you know, have you considered this? You know, as long as you have a nice conversation about it, and don't say, "Oh, you're a fucking prick, mate," because you're not doing the RAM right, mate, or your processor's not right, mate. Expect a sternly worded email or letter. You know, just be nice. There isn't a master race. There isn't an elite. You know, as long as you're enjoying playing your games, just play them where you want, man.
Yeah,
it's cool. You know, and this versus thing can just be dropped now. I think you know we're at a parity right now where you know, console games are at a point where they can challenge some games for PC. Some games are just so much higher, and they will be because they're built on PCs for God's sake.
I think there'll always be competition between the console developers, like the console makers, and the PCs. There'll always be competition between those. But as gamers, I don't think there should be any kind of versus. I think it should just be enjoy what you got.
Yeah, I mean,
get as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there are so many experiences on PC that you can't get on a console, and likewise there are some experiences on console which you can't get on a PC.
Yeah.
If I was a PC gamer predominantly, personally, I would miss Uncharted. I'd miss
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Halo?
Yeah.
Halo's on PC, isn't it?
Halo 1 was on PC, the rest of them weren't.
Really?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, right. Wow. Fair enough.
So yeah, I mean, I think if we want to do some sort of roundup and consumer advice, really, we have to say you have to look really. What do you want?
What games do you want to play?
Yeah, if you want to play indie titles, PS4's catching up, but play PC. You don't need a massive PC to play indie titles. If you just want to play predominantly indie titles, you can probably get away with just your standard off-the-shelf Dell computer.
Yeah.
And MMOs as well. You can't play it.
Yeah.
The browser MMOs, other MMOs, all that kind of stuff.
If you're one of those people who just want to show off your graphics, get a massive beasted up PC.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what's important to you, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to say, look at my Watch Dogs. Look at it run. Even though it runs shit on PC, but still.
Did you get the Did you get the mod for it?
I haven't yet. I'm going to.
Cool. I'll be interested to see how it looks.
There's no doubting they fucked the PC version real bad.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh god.
Yeah. It's like my PC bracket runs it. It should run it beautifully.
Yeah.
But, it's just framey every now and again. Like you just tell there's some things wrong.
Yeah.
So they fucked that pretty bad. So I'll check out the mod. But other games. Tomb Raider looks amazing.
Oh, really?
Like I've played the definitive edition, and the PC when you smash it up to ultra, So as you say, if you want graphical prowess, then you can do that, and that's your thing. If you want to upgrade your graphics cards to the most premium thing every 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, if it takes you, then fine, do it.
Absolutely do it. You will probably be paying as much, or maybe a little bit more, each time for a graphics card as you would for one console. But it's probably if it's important to you, then do it.
But there was one point I wanted to say. Actually, I have now listed all my games for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I've already worked out that I'm saving a console's worth on buying PC alone.
Wow.
Because Evil Within is £20 less on PC than it is on next gen.
They always are.
Evolve is the same. All those kind of games. Wow. So that's another consideration.
Well, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
I'll get Far Cry 4's good.
I mean, I'm getting a special edition for Far Cry 4,
really?
which is I'm getting it 35 quid less than the.
Jesus.
Yeah. What? So I'm actually getting it less than the standard edition on next gen.
Wow. Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So that's also another consideration. I mean, that's just for the end of the year. So you consider over a year.
Yeah, that's right.
You could be, I know the initial outlay is quite a considerable amount more.
Yeah.
But over the years you can save quite a bit of money by and even Steam sales as well. You just don't get on some things. Yeah. There's loads of considerations, but nothing's wrong. Unless you're a dick. Then you are wrong.
Then you're wrong.
Yeah.
No matter what you are, console or PC, you're wrong.
Yeah. Anything to say, Leni?
I have 10 minutes of battery life left.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll call it there, I think.
Yeah.
So, as normal, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitch.tv, Google+, all /GamesHUD, and as usual, GamesHUD.net. Go there before any of those other things, that's the main thing.
This would be the segue.
The segue to what?
The rest of the things.
That's the throwback.
He's
the portals!
Oh, man.
So anyway, GamesHUD.net. Go there now and check it out. And we'll see you soon. So there you go.
I may, at some point.
Really?
What?
Awesome. Right. Goodbye. Bye. I'm going to do a little whisper now. It's time for the whisper bit. Bye. You're not going to whisper anything. Usually say something that's going